Today I'm going to show you what I did to install my tweeters in my 2014 Xterra. Probably applies to other Xterras as well. Probably 2013 and 2015 I would imagine are the same way. But what you're looking at right now is the piece of plexiglass that I cut out for my new tweeter. This will fit inside where the old tweeter goes. They're different sizes, so I had to make a custom mount for this. So I can surface mount the, uh, not surface mount, but flush mount the new tweeter to this thing here. And you'll see part of the plexiglass is broken. That was my poor drilling techniques on plexiglass. But the hole in the center, of course, is for the new tweeter. And then there's only 3 screw holes. I don't know why they didn't put all 4 in on the Xterra, but both sides of my Xterra only had 3 screws securing the original, the OEM tweeter. So anyway, this is what I'm going to put in there. I'm not going to show you how I did this. The center circle there, obviously it was done with a hole saw, a 1 3/4 inch hole saw in this case. If you're using a different speaker, then you'll probably have to go with a different size, of course. But anyway, what else can I say about this? I'm not going to show how to do the install the woofer or mid-range, whatever you want to call it, in the door panels, because there's plenty of YouTube videos that show you how to do that. So anyway, let's get started here, and I'll show you how you get access to removing the old speaker. Okay, the left side's been done, so I'm just going to show you how to do the right side here, which is this one here. It's not exactly the best spot to put a tweeter, I would think, but whatever works, I guess. Anyway, you can see I already got the grill popped up a little bit. There's supposed to be some plastic tools that will get that up and out of there, but I ended up having to use a very small flat blade screwdriver to lift it up off there and trying not to damage the dasher and stuff like that. And once I got lifted up enough, I was able to stick my finger in there and pop it the rest of the way up. So anyway, this side was a bit different in another respect. Well, they're both the same except for one difference. This speaker grill, for some reason, has this strap on it. I guess so that you don't lose it. I don't know why the strap's not on the other side, but there you go. And there you go. There's the original, the OEM speaker. And as you can see, they only put 3 screws in it to secure it. And it's the same way over on the left side. So I'm not too terribly broken up about breaking that one screw hole up. Besides, plexiglass is really hard to work with. And I forgot to mention that plexiglass that I cut out, made up, is 1/16 of an inch thick. Might be able to put something a little thicker in, maybe an 1/8 inch or something like that, and it might be easier to drill it. Anyway, well, as you can see, we'll take those 3 screws out, and then you can pull the speaker out. And since I'm videoing this myself, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here and take this thing out of here, and I'll show you what's inside underneath here. The thing I should mention about those screws, they're 7mm. The one that's closest to the windshield there, as you can see, there's the windshield, and that one I had to use the 2 ones toward the passenger seat here. You can get in there with a 7mm socket, but the one in up against the glass there, I found I had to use a 7mm wrench. Okay, this is a speaker pulled out, and this is the way As you can see, it's got a capacitor on the back here. That's the way they got it wired here. It's in series with the hot lead. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, the hot lead there, and that gives you your that blocks your low frequencies. So it's basically a high pass filter. But anyway, you got a black wire here and a red wire over here, and it goes into this little plug here, and this whole thing's a complete assembly. It's kind of attached to the speaker, so you can't just take it off and reuse it, but you can disconnect this part back here. This has got a little bit more slack than the other side on this, but you can take this section off here and use it as part of your project. And I believe the clip's on the other side here, if I can see it again. Yeah, there's a little clip there, and you push down on it, and that thing will just slide right out of there. And you gotta be careful that this wiring harness doesn't fall down inside. And the rest of this piece right here, I broke it off of the speaker to reuse it. That way, it made it easier for me to connect into the existing OEM harness. What did I do there? I got a little circle in here now. Hopefully it doesn't mess up this video. But anyway, you also got I ended up cutting off these wires here going to the back of the speaker here. I'll get it in the right spot here, the red and the black, and discarded the rest of that. And on the red and the black here, what I did was I put well, I couldn't find those large and small spade lugs that I needed, so I had to improvise when I made up my cable to connect the new speaker in. I hate having to fabricate stuff like that, but what are you going to do? It would have helped if Metra had made up a cable that interfaced with the OEM cable here. As a matter of fact, speaking of the filter here, my tweeter came with a JL Audio crossover, and that's going to be part of my wiring harness when I plug it into this tweeter here. The JL Audio crossover is a high frequency filter too. Keeps, to keep the bass frequencies out of the tweeter. So anyway, essentially that's what I did was I would have liked a cleaner install, but this is the way I did it. And anybody who wants to take the time to do a more a deeper, a better install, go for it. Anyway, I should pull out the other side and show you exactly what the wiring harness cable looks like. I haven't made up the one for this one just yet, but I can show you. Well, we'll just take this one step at a time. Okay, there's my JL Audio tweeter. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the fixture the mount that I've made up for it. And as you can see, the thing fits in there quite nicely. The manual said the hole was supposed to be 1.5 inches, but turns out it's supposed to be 1 3/4. And while I'm at it here, this piece of plexiglass is 2 3/4 inches on each side. Well, I'll go metric on you now and say that it's 70 millimeters on each side. Really, I guess American standard isn't important anymore. Anywho, on the other side, you can see a screw hole there, and there's a bolt that goes in through it. There's a long one and a short one that came with the kit. And let's see, I should have had that all out here for you to, as you can see, here's the old speaker that I just took out. And you can see the big difference in size there. But plus it's all an integrated piece by the OEM, of course. Let me reach down here and get my nuts and bolts. Hopefully I can do a good job of editing later and show you exactly what I got going on here. But anyway, here's one piece that we're going to be using, and it's going to fit right up on top like this, and it's going to hold it in place there. Let me show you that again, like that. And let me see if I can find the short bolt here in the bag. Let's just dump it out. Who cares if I lose a bunch of stuff here? Here's the short one right here. And let's see, if I got a long one here. Yeah, there were two short ones and two long ones that were in here. The long one fit just fine on the driver's side, and as you can see, they're quite a bit difference in size there. So I'm just going to put the camera down for a moment while I go and screw this on and show you what it looks like. Okay, there it is. As you can see, there's a nut also down there where it tightens up against the speaker. And then you got a nut on top to hold that support in place. And if you get it tightened down enough, it's probably not going to go anywhere. Anyway, that's that part. Now I need to make up the interface cable, which is going to consist of this piece right here that I'm going to take off the old speaker, and there's probably a way to get it off there, but it looks like they did some kind of gluing and stuff, so I'm just going to break the metal piece off and wrap it up to where nobody will get cut on it. Not that anybody's going to really get inside the vehicle down the road. And then the red and the black there, I'm going to cut those off, and I'm going to put let's see, what am I putting on there? I'm putting on spades, I believe, on that. Yeah, it will be spades. The crossover that came with this thing was designed to be connected to two terminals on the woofer itself, or mid-range, whatever you want to call the thing. It actually had two terminals for the positive and two terminals for the negative, and obviously it was designed to have the crossover plugged into it, and then on the other side of the crossover would go to the tweeter. When that let's see, that has spade lugs on it, as I recall. Okay, here's a JL audio crossover that came with the speakers, and you can see from the part number it's a high pass filter. And on the right side here, it goes to the tweeter. Let's see, let me see if I can get that up here. Okay, it's got the spade lugs on it that are supposed to plug into this. So that part's pretty much a slam dunk, because the spades are the right size for plugging into the females here. Negative is the smaller one, and the positive the larger one, like most speakers are. Now on the other hand, let's see, on the other end it goes to was supposed to go to the woofer terminals. And as you can see, these are, let's see if I can get into this. Okay, as you can see, those are females, and the positive's larger, and than the black one for polarization. So if you're careful, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cutting these off and putting in a standard size female connectors on this. They'll both be the same size, but if you pay attention to polarity, you'll be good to go on this. And then like I said, on these wires here coming off of this thing, I'm going to take those and put male connectors on that'll slide into these connectors once I get them changed out. And then this piece here will plug into the OEM cable harness. So I got a lot of stuff that's put in together. I suppose it might have been better to solder the connections together and eliminate some of this wiring, but it's always nice to have a quick disconnect of some kind of, if you ever had to change a speaker down the road or something like that. Well, anyway, that's the gist of it right there. I guess I'll get to it here and show you what I got. I forgot to mention that I'm going to be changing these connectors to a standard size that you can find at your local store if you need to do down the road, because I've been having a real devil of a time trying to find these type of connectors in spade lugs that would, well, I should call them male connectors. I call them spades that would slide into these things. But anyway, but that's the reason why I'm making that modification. I hate wasting my time going from site to site to site to site and store to store to store trying to find something that ought to be easier to find. But there you go. Okay, looks like I've got my cable made up. As you can see, this piece here came off the original speaker, and it'll plug in to the OEM harness inside the vehicle. So I won't have to do any extensive wiring inside the vehicle. Now I'm going to put electrical tape around these. I thought about putting heat shrink around it, but they're supposed to be quick disconnect terminals, so kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? But anyway, but you follow this along, and this is the cable that normally would go in, connect onto those two terminals on the woofer that I told you about, or if you want to call it a mid-range speaker. But anyway, and there's your and here's the crossover. As you can see, it's all sealed up, so it's pretty much weatherproof. Not that it matters, since it's going to be tucked up underneath the dash. And you got the two plugs here that connect up to the speaker. You can see them underneath the tape there. I just did put this tape on here for dress up. Now all this wiring could have been tripped up and made a lot shorter, but believe it or not, all this wire actually will fit up underneath the dash, underneath the speaker. So we got plenty of room there. So now I'm just a matter of just putting the speaker in place and screwing it down, putting the grill back on it, and away we go. And that pretty much finishes my project on the Xterra as far as the audio system goes for now. I do plan on replacing the OEM radio with the aftermarket, but one thing at a time. But I probably won't do a video on that, because I'm replacing that, because there's a couple of videos out there that already tell you how to do it. So anyway, there you go. Probably should have done a video on what I did on the Mustang too, but I don't know. I might do a video on the Xterra down the road when I put in the new head unit on it, and because I do some fairly fancy things on that too. That's not in some other videos. Anyway, here you go. That's pretty much the project in a nutshell. So there's my new speaker mounted in the Xterra, And I'm about to put the cover over it and show you that, put the grill over it, but I have to tell you that it will fit just fine. But anyway, I thought I'd go in and give you some idea what this looks like after I got it mounted in here. I was going to play some music to demonstrate its performance, but my understanding is YouTube has strict copyright laws, even though I thought there was fair use laws in effect, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, there you go.